Well, hey there folks, it's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. At least I try. Welcome back to my bee yard here in southeast Louisiana, where it is picking up and it's getting ready to be fast and furious. Alright folks, I've already gotten busy in the bees, working here and working there and looking in the trees for swarms. So I don't look in the trees too often because if you don't see the swarm, your hive didn't swarm. Yeah. Now we've had sustained a few swarms. I'm concerned about some of my old drawn comb in my supers. I think it's just getting so old and brittle they don't like it. This year I'm gonna be running more 10 frames in order to draw out comb. With my comb looking like it's getting kind of old, I started making up a bunch of 10 frame boxes because I have those metal spacers in my boxes. I'm gonna get away from those because I want to have more versatility when I change over. But I'm gonna try and draw out a bunch this year. And my goal is to scrape out, and I've already scraped some this year in cold, but I want to scrape more of the really old stuff. So everything that's got a blue 1 on it is for 21. And hopefully we draw it. I just seen some that have already drawn it out, and that's good. And I'm gonna go show you those and show you what I'm looking at today. But I want to start getting, I think it's gonna put me about 12 or 14 supers out there that are 10 frame being drawn from new foundation. And that way I'll have, like 70% of my stuff will be drawn and 30% will be brand new or a year or two old. And then as I go, I'll begin to cycle. Each year I want to take out about 10%, scrape it and re-wax it and re-wax it. This bee is messing me up. And then put it back in. And that way I know it's the fresh stuff that's going in. Because here's what I found is this year I've got colonies, and it didn't happen to all of them, but it happened to quite a few last year, and it happened to a couple, maybe 4 or 5 this year, to where I put nice 2 to 3 medium drawn 9 frame boxes on top of a booming hive. Not ready to swarm yet, plenty of brood going in, still young brood going in, a lot of capped in the bottoms and such, queen moving up in the top, starting to put some nectar on the outsides. I stacked supers on them really early, probably about last week of March, even a little bit earlier. And we had a good steady flow. It's good steady. It's not a huge flow, but it was a little flow of nectar coming in. No need to even feed them. They were bringing it in. And lo and behold, they filled up and then began to backfill their nest. Would not touch the supers. It happened on a large scale last year. So I culled out a lot and put some 10 frames of foundation in. And then it started happening on a smaller scale this year. Quite frustrating because you're ahead of the game, you're doing your part, and the bees decide different. But that's beekeeping. I mean, that's how it goes. It doesn't always work the way the books say. But yeah, last year was a little worse, and I think it was really something to do with old queens, but something to do with this comb. And then this year, I've had a few that just refuse to go up into the drawn supers, but it is what it is. Maybe it's genetics, type of bee. I mean, there's a lot of different factors. But anyway, just trying to stay on top of them, and this is what I'm doing right now. I got one that I knew it had swarm cells last week. I culled most of the cells because I wanted to slow it down real quick till I could get to it this week because I found it at the end. That's what I'm doing right now. If I don't find the queen, I'm going to let them go. If I do find her, I'm going to split them. But the issue, what I'm doing is if I see that I can split them, I'm throwing a double screen divider board in there. This is what I did with this one. So I'm replacing a broken frame right now. Okay. This box looks like it might have already swarmed. There's not a ton in it. But there's the other part of it. But it's definitely got swarm cells in it. And what I'll do is if I can find her, I'm gonna go back through. If I can find her, she was marked. She's last year's queen. I'm gonna pull her to the top, put a double screen divider in, put a super on top of a deep double screen divider, her and another super. Let them be apart for a week, and then I'm gonna do what I'm doing over here. Let me show you. So what I did with this colony is, okay, see the newspaper. So last week I found the queen, and I just saw her again today. And what I did was I put her up top, and I had a double screen divider board, okay, right here. It's here right now, but it was right here, on top of a deep and a super. Took the queen out of here, got rid of all the swarm cells. Wanted them to stop the swarm and didn't want them to replace a queen yet, because my goal is to recombine them for the flow in a couple weeks. So I still have a laying queen. So, double screen divider board with some newspaper here. The entrance came to the back. All right, it was down here. That depleted all her workers. They came back to the bottom. That thing filled up. Meantime, they're putting honey away. Then what I did is I left her in here with a medium on top. I actually probably should have put the medium down here, but it didn't matter. Went in now, this is 6 days, caught all the emergency cells that were in the bottom and got rid of them. Went through every frame. Then I put my queen box back down here with a super. She's gonna get all these workers. They're gonna keep filling my box. Combined the other super that was originally down here, because it was full of bees, with her. Now she's got 2 supers, and she's a single brood chamber. And I got all my other bees up here. And what I'm doing is separating them and taking the momentum away. This is a new experiment for me. I'm taking the swarm desire away from them if I can. These workers will go back here. She's got enough space, and I'm only gonna leave them for about 4 days. No emergency cells should be made at this point in this box anymore, because I've got rid of them all and there's no fresh eggs. They had no queen. So they're gonna stay queenless another, maybe even 4 or 5 days, because I want to time it to where about a week and a half to 2 weeks before that flow, which is about 3 weeks away now, I guess. I said 2, but I meant it's probably 3. I want to recombine them and then slap the 2 supers back on top and a 3rd one, because that tallow will explode. I'm gonna have to pull supers and replace with empty halfway through the flow. So that's the plan. Basically, I just did a split, killed the cells, let all the workers go in the bottom, killed all the emergency cells, flip-flopped them, give the queen some room, let her keep going in her original space, recombine slowly, boom, took the numbers away, took some of the brood away. She's still going, we'll recombine her, and we haven't lost a queen to a swarm. I don't know, first time I ever tried that. Another video I showed you where 2 swarms were coming out, and I actually tanged them back in. Guys, I feel like an idiot out there banging on the metal, but they honestly went back in. And tanging normally makes them light on a tree somewhere. These actually went back in. What did I do, you might ask? Because I didn't video it because it was a busy day. Here's what I did. I flip-flopped colonies. This is a tactic of a good buddy of mine that's a fellow beekeeper, and we work together a lot. We've been beekeeping the same amount of time. And what he'll do is he'll take that strong swarming hive and he'll move it. If he knows they're getting ready to swarm, he will move it. If he can find the queen, he'll split it, but he'll move that thing. All right, and pull. He'll move it to where a weak hive was. He'll take a weak hive and move it to where the swarming one was. And what that has done is taken all the field bees away. Now, we were in a class, I told y'all about this class with Dr. Harris, and he said normally these field bees are who lead the swarm on out to the new location, and to the place they're gonna hang or whatever. They lead them. It's not necessarily their decision, but they lead them. And so taking them away could very well help this situation. My buddy's been, Kenny, he's been successful at this. And so I started doing it this year. So that's what I did with them. Even though they were already coming out of the box, I flip-flopped them. I don't know that I stopped them. I haven't even checked them again, but that's another thing I've used on a couple other colonies, and it seems to do well in addition to what I'm doing here. Because my goal is to keep as many bees and brood with a queen in a box in order to be ready for the flow. Some of mine have peaked too early, some of them are peaking right on time, and some of them are swarming for absolutely no reason that I can figure out. So I've done everything I've always done, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So that's where I'm at with that. So those are 2 tactics I've used. It seems to be doing okay. It's just coming up with new ways to do things where we can maintain for the nectar flow. So let me give you an idea of what I'm finding here with the privet flow. Just the privet flow is ending. Okay, the flowers are browning out. There's still a few fresh blooms out there, but nothing major. Of course, we still got plenty of clover and everything else going on, but this is what we're finding. I just had this open, so I'm going to show you. So there's some new frames, and they are they're loading them up. This is a 10 frame box that I put new foundation in. You can do it with 9. I'm telling you, you can, but it will go cattywampus, and I don't, every now and again, I don't have the time to fix that. I need frames faster. So we're building out and we're filling in. I'm gonna have to actually get another box of foundation on here. I wasn't gonna do a long video today, but why not? This one, of course, is, as you can see, is coming all the way full. A little bit of brood left in some of these, but they backfilled it with nectar. But they're gonna have to have foundation, or I'm gonna wind up with a overcrowded hive before the tallow flow. So this one had brood, but it's all being backfilled with nectar. That's why I don't sweat the excluders. It does make storing your comb a little bit of a problem, so I know that. But they're starting to cap all this, and this is privet. It's very thick and sticky. It seems to cap pretty quick to where we can pull it in the next couple of weeks and get these supers back on for tallow. And oh yeah, that was pretty much, it's about full. And same with this one, all the way across. I think the outside's a little bit left to draw or to fill, but we're filling these up. So our privet is gonna be a bonus this year. I'm gonna get some, oh wow, y'all are full of bees. I'm gonna get a few supers off of it. Normally it's a build-up flow for me, unless my hives are built up already, and getting those other queens really help. Oh, man, yeah. So this is where beekeeping gets very strenuous, because you're moving boxes. Now these are my 9-frame boxes, so you can see how thick the combs are. Love 9-frame boxes. So once we get everything drawn, we're going to start cycling out of 9-frame boxes. There you go. So I put a brick on it. Stick it straight up like this. It tells me I need to get some kind of space in there, and I'll be doing that later on, just throwing some foundations on. This stuff needs to get capped. I've got a few over here. I know they're going to get capped and put back on, because I don't have a replacement super right now, because I just don't. If I build more, I'm going to get more bees. Got to control yourself with bees. Especially the first few years, you get so excited, you start blowing up, and next thing you know, it's too much for you. So, but it's a beautiful Saturday. I think it's in the 70s. It's gorgeous today. Sun's shining. We got rain coming. I got to get all this done, so I'm going to get after it real quick. All right, guys, let me get this wrapped up. I got to get this going. If I find anything else out in the yard, I'm going to shoot a video. So we're not maybe over yet, but maybe we are, but maybe we're not. Who knows if we are? Hey, guys, let me get busy, and I'll let you know. So I told you guys I would check in with you if I found anything. So I did see a couple emerged cells on this swarm. I think they've already swarmed. And what we have found here, if I can find her again, is a little virgin queen. There she is. So let me show her to you. I don't know that she's brand new. I mean, I know she's brand new. This was a marked queen. So my hive is probably, my colony is probably left, but there she is. She's out, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But they are down on numbers some, so I'm gonna leave them alone. It's the chance we take, because we got a queen. I see a queen, so I'm probably gonna take out some more of those swarm cells in there, because what will happen, and this has happened before, this is a lesson I learned, and I've read about it and knew about it, but what'll happen, if it's a booming colony, and they make all these swarm cells, they'll take a virgin with the original swarm a lot of times, as a backup. But another thing they will do is they'll do a secondary swarm, a cast swarm they call it, and they'll take 2 or 3 more virgins in another swarm. That's why when you catch a swarm, I go through it within a few days to see if she's laying, because if she's a mated queen, she'll be established quickly. If they don't lay in the first few days, come up to them in a week, what you had was probably a secondary swarm. It's normally smaller, as we all know, but what we don't want to do is have one of those, and then they've got to mate the queen, and they'll mate the queen. But what you don't want to happen is you do a swarm split to prevent that thing. And what I've had happen was they still swarm off because I left, 8 cells in there. Well, they're going to keep on going. They're that big. That's how bees do. They multiply like that. And this was, again, Dr. Jeff Harris really enlightened me on a few things I knew, other things I didn't, but these bees swarm. they're going to swarm. That's how they propagate. And when the nutrition is coming in the way it is now, this is prime time because they have everything they need to grow successfully in their new location. And the bees are not letting go from over there. You can tell the hive is a little stressed. So the issue I have is I smashed a cell in there on the bottom, and now I'm going to go through the top, and I'm debating whether I want to take out the rest of the cells since I know I've got a queen. But I'm going to look for the old queen, and ideally what I would do is split it and leave her in the top and leave the virgin in the bottom and see if we prevent any more swarming. There were probably about 5 more cells in there. I'm going to open a couple and see what they look like. But she's obviously just come out probably. Hasn't been on a mating flight yet. And they're still primed for a swarm probably. And once I saw the virgin, I really didn't want to take a chance of messing her up in case she is the only. I know I got more cells, but it's all about timing right now because the flow is around the corner and we don't want to wait days and days and days for her to get mated. There's plenty of brood in there now to sustain them. We don't want to delay that any. We want to keep that brood coming and have her go in right behind it. There will be a brood break, that's fine. So don't want to mess them up. Really, it's timing. We'll see. Let's get going. Remaining capped cells, they don't appear to have been popped open. Sometimes they'll have been popped open and the flap will shut. Several. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then on this side, 6, 7. 1 funky one, I'll take that out. 8. 1 not finished yet, I'll take that out. We'll just see what we got. 9 really if you count the 1. See, I think that's where she came out. See that one in the back right there? That's where I think she came out. You can tell it's been opened. So I think I saw that earlier and I said, we got an open cell. Question is, did they leave? The numbers are, they're decent numbers. That one was already opened. You see? That's why you gotta be careful taking queen cells when you're doing splits. You gotta take more than one. That one was closed, but you see that it looked like it was closed, but you see that little lid right there? I'm gonna zoom in when I edit. That little lid was already cut open and it flapped shut. So alright, so a piece of foundation and look what I find. The second virgin. So, hope y'all see her. There she is. I'm also going to take these cells out and I'll probably go put them in a nuke box and keep them off to the side. Go ahead and make a couple extra queens and see what happens. We can do combines and all that stuff later, but I'm gonna get those out of there too. So I'm gonna get all the swarm cells out of there. I don't want them in there anymore. I might have missed one in the bottom. I don't think I did though, but I don't remember checking as carefully as I probably should have. But yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, I've got nothing to lose, right? Except for a swarm. We don't want that to happen. And still haven't went through that other medium, but I got one virgin isolated. I got both virgins isolated. I found probably some more in here. But we did see 2 cells, 3 cells actually that were already opened. So there could be a third one in there somewhere. Haven't checked that last medium. That's drawn. Queen could be in there because I don't use excluders. So let me get this done. Queen cells. Brood. Hey guys, change of plans. What I realized, I just don't have that many bees in there. I mean, there's plenty of foragers out right now, and there's a bunch in the bottom. But you know, if I got 2 virgins, I pulled the cells, I cannot find that old queen. I pulled all the cells. There's 2 virgins. I'm actually going to leave those 2 virgins alone and see what happens. It's a crapshoot, but I've got queen cells in this one. I can always get another virgin later, or I've got a resource colony I can stick on there. I'm going to see what they do. Who knows? I am going to go ahead and put them back together. I'm not going to split them after all. I'm going to take a bunch of nurse bees, put in that nuke with those cells. I'm going to go ahead and put them back together. I'm going to take a chance. I'll recombine them with something. I've been fooling with it way too long, mainly just kind of wanted to get some video of different ways to do it and different ways I'm trying and different ways I've done in the past, but it's getting to be drawn out. I got like 25 more hives to go through, so let me get this done. I'm going to just put them all together, build a big fat nuke, stick it under my shelter, see what we get, sell it, recombine it, do whatever. It's all part of beekeeping, guys. This is what makes it adventurous. What else would you want to do on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, right? All right, folks, I'm coming back from, I had to give me a sip of water and take a quick break. But I spent a lot of time on that colony, just trying to capture the shot. Yeah, just battery went dead as soon as I was finishing putting it back together. But anyway, you get the idea. Now, I'm trying to prevent them from swarming, but they may have already swarmed. So here's the summary of it all. Basically, I was going to split it, and then I looked, and there just weren't a ton of bees in there. I mean, there was a good amount. I mean, it was plenty to swarm with, but I could not find the old queen. Some cells were in the pupating stage, others were at the end of it. 2 of them, 3 of them were opened. For sure, 1 virgin queen. And so I just went to split. Now I was going to split them, and then I said no, I'm not going to. So what I did was just split a nuke off. I took 3 frames of brood to get rid of some of the numbers. One of them had the cells on them. There's no other cells in there. There's at least 1 virgin. I went to shaking the bottom box. Didn't look super carefully for the other one, because really in the end it doesn't matter. I got 1 in there. And we'll know if she was the mated one, because that nuke, if she did get shook in there or she's another one, we'll have eggs quick. She was kind of fat still. But who knows? Who knows? And for there to be that young of another virgin, they may have been planning to do a secondary swarm, maybe the first one. I don't know. So many different things to look at that I don't dissect it too much anymore. I do change my mind midstream like I did with that split, but I don't try to dissect it too much, because we're at the point now where it really doesn't matter. They're either going or they're not, and if they do, I'll recombine something with them. I don't want them to go, but they're not packing in any honey right now. So then there's the flip side of it. Maybe they've already swarmed, they were set to go, and they were going to be just fine, and she was getting ready to go out and get mated, or maybe just got back from one of her mating flights, and maybe she was going to be laying and have eggs in 3 weeks, and we were going to be just fine and not miss a beat for the tallow flow. Could have messed everything up. You just don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an entomologist. So I guess the bottom line is you just run with it and go and see what happens. Monitor them in a week and then fix whatever you need to fix. That's what I'm doing. So I basically showed you what I did. I do a combination of things, and then I showed you that one thing that it's the first time I'm trying with the screen divider board. I use screen divider boards to split for many years. Them not being able to touch and pass pheromone makes them think one side is queenless. It works well. Make emergency cells. They made emergency cells. I cleaned them all out. I'm going to recombine that in another week, maybe 4 days, something like that, and hope that colony is ready to roll for the flow. So that's a new thing I'm trying. I'm encouraged by it. I also told you about something my buddy does, and I've done that this year. And then the other thing is just splitting them, which I chose not to do. Or in this case, I kind of did split. I split off of them. I cut down with a nuke. That nuke is packed with bees. I shook a bunch of nurse bees in there. Again, took plenty of brood out of there, got their numbers down. But that doesn't mean anything. I've seen them swarm after that too. So, but they don't have any cells, and they only have 1, maybe 2 virgins in there. Hey man, it's an adventure. It's a learning experience every single time. We got honey going into some boxes we're going to have to yank off in another couple weeks. That light, sticky, thick honey. Get it out, get the boxes back deployed again. I'm completely out of supers right now. Built my last 6 that I had wood for, so hey, we're here. It is getting ready to get busy with honey, hopefully. That's the hope. That's what we do this for over in my side here at my little place. Simply for honey. Maybe one day we'll sell bees, but gonna need a lot more time for that. Alright folks, well look, that's going to be it for today. I got a lot more to do actually, but it's just going to be quick inspections, going through the top, seeing how we're sitting, so I know what supers I'm going to be swapping out. And it really is it. And then I'm going to go next door, do the same thing, run to the ones down in the town, take care of those, and hopefully be done at a reasonable hour today. Beautiful day to be out enjoying the weather. Beekeeping in my life, it's just a hobby. I like to do a lot of other things besides just work on bees all day, every day, so that's why I don't have 200 hives. Alright guys, appreciate everybody coming along. I sure appreciate you faithful subscribers that are always watching and commenting. Sure do appreciate it. If you did like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, family, anybody that just enjoys watching bees. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. May Lord God bless you. See y'all later.